This is why the character, Chloe Sullivan, destroyed Allison Mack and why she's in so much trouble today. I was in the music business for a while, and every once in a while I talked to some actors and actresses, and they would tell me, some of the easier roles to play are roles that's nothing like them or nothing like their psyche. Because they could go in and they could basically play the role and live in this sort of, being sort of a fantasy of this person's life. And then at the end of the day, they take that off and then go home and, and it's a job. But some characters are simply archetypes of the person's psyche. It's almost like the person brings out certain things about their own life that makes them uncomfortable. And I think this is what happened with Allison Mack. If you think about Chloe Sullivan, Chloe is just always number two. She's never quite good enough. Whatever she does, she's never good enough to get Clark. It's always the pretty girl, the Lana Lanes or the Lois. They're always better than her. Even when she first started doing reporting at the Daily Planet and they first brought in Lois, it was like, well, they had to bring in Lois in a way that put down the character Chloe Sullivan. And there must have been, before this even happened, before she even got the role, Allison Mack must have already had self-esteem issues that she wasn't good enough, issues that she'll never be pretty enough, or that she'll always be second best. And then playing the role of Chloe Sullivan was like putting her insecurities out to the world. Because she probably said, well, I really feel like this Chloe Sullivan character in real life. I really have these insecurities. I really feel like I'm not good enough. So I could hear this guy, Keith Raniere, the head of this cult, I could hear him now. He exploited the hell out of Allison Mack's insecurities related to Chloe Sullivan. I could hear him now saying, man, I was a fan of Smallville, but I kept seeing how Clark was choosing Lana or Lois over you, and I was like, that guy's crazy. You would have definitely been my number one. And Allison Mack ate it up. She ate it up. She was now number one. She was given something by this guy, Keith Raniere, that movies and TV shows couldn't give her. She's the number one girl. She's at the top. Her initials are with his initials on that brand they give women under them. She's number one over girls that she thinks is prettier than her. She's finally getting what she wants. And like I said, this guy, Keith Raniere, exploited the hell out of that situation. And I want to say something about this Keith Raniere guy. What he did was horrible. But this guy must be some sort of evil genius. I mean, just think about what he did to these, and these are with, top quality, really beautiful women. He had these women calling him Vanguard and singing to him all week for his birthday celebration. He had them getting his initials branded on them, these women who were sex slaves. And just think about it. He had a pyramid scheme, an MLM scheme. And usually with MLM, you bring in multi-level marketing. It's based on how many customers you bring in or how many workers you bring in under you to work under you, affiliates. He had a pyramid scheme, an MLM scheme based on women went to higher levels based on how many sex slaves they brought to him. I mean, that's simply incredible. I mean, how? And these, like I say, these are good-looking top quality women. And this guy, he looks like, he's not like a Rico Suave type guy. He looks like a guy who would be a college professor, or maybe a guy you see as a manager in Mr. Heroes or something. He's just a regular looking guy, and he has all of these top quality women bringing in more sex slaves and being his sex slave. And Allison Mack was his like #1 sex slave. And he had these women like going on 900 calorie diets. So they was getting skinny. If you see Allison Mack, she almost looked like a bobblehead. So he had all these women getting skinny, and because that's how he liked his women as sex slaves. And it's just insane when you think about it. Absolutely crazy. I mean, you can understand how, yes, most likely the archetype psyche of Chloe Sullivan closely mirrored the psyche of Allison Mack, and it just made things much, much worse. But I can never for the life of me figure out how people fall for these cult leaders. I mean, it's just nutty. I was just watching a special on Jim Jones from Jonestown. I mean, listening to him, I'm like, if that was me listening to this guy, I'd have been like, this guy is a nut. This guy is an absolute nut. There's no way I would have followed that guy. You just listen to some of these guys. And then with David Koresh, he was sleeping with women, wives of other members in the group, saying he had to, plant his seed and put his seed in these women. And these guys were okay, falling for it. I mean, maybe just something in the psyche or in a person's mental makeup, but I just see it as so weak-minded to fall for some people who are just so obviously nuts. They're just kooky. And like I said, when I look at Allison Mack, because Chloe Sullivan was one of my favorite characters on Smallville, and when you look at how popular that character was, you know that Allison Mack could have been in all kind of TV shows and movies after the popularity of that character. But she simply faded into obscurity because being this guy's #1 and being the #1 girl gave her a better feeling than movies or TV shows could ever give her. I mean, you look at Lois, she'd have been like, what? She's now on Supergirl, had another medical drama after Smallville, then Kristen Crook with Beauty and the Beast, and now this Burden of Truth. So of course Allison Mack could have been in all kind of movies and TV shows after Smallville, but again, movies and TV shows could not give her that feeling that she wanted. And that feeling that she wanted was being #1, was being the top girl. And it's a shame. It's truly a shame.